As a kid, people describe me as a kid with hollow legs. What I meant by that is I could eat as much food as I want. I could have all the junk food in the world. But I'd still stay skinny. I wouldn't gain a bit of weight. I have a faster metabolism out there. And I didn't appreciate this. I took this for granted, I can't lie. So I just ate and ate and ate junk food. I thought it has no effect on me. I can out-train junk food. I can outwork junk food. As I can just beat junk. Like I can eat as much junk food as I want, but I can still get in good shape. And I tried to do this for a long time, and I thought it was working because I didn't have a massive belly and my cheeks weren't chubby. But I still had problems. I had like bad skin. Felt so insecure that I had so many spots on my face. I felt like I had like I remember someone saying to me once, "It looks like someone's done dot to dot on your face." I hated it. I hated the spots on my face and how I looked. As well as this, I didn't have good energy levels. I could never be asked to do anything. I just wanted to lay in bed and watch YouTube all day. You know when like your mum said, "Can you take the garbage out or the trash out or the rubbish out?" That's the word. Or she says like, "Just can you do some little task?" I'd always say, "Oh, I can't be asked. I can't be bothered. I've got no energy." This was the same with school and revising. I'd come home, I'd tell myself I'm going to revise, but I never would. I'd never even, I wouldn't even try. I'd just, look, I'm like, oh, I can't be asked. And I'd just go on my phone and just scroll for a bit. And, yeah, I just had problems, but I didn't know they were problems from food. At 16, I went gym. I started working out as I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to gain muscle. And with this muscle, I knew the only way I could gain it was to bulk. So what I had to do was eat as many calories as possible every day of the week. I had to stuff my face. I had to eat to a point where I couldn't fit another bite in my mouth, to the point of genuine explosion. That's what I had to eat to. So every day I'd stop at the shop or I'd stop at Tesco's or somewhere, and I'd always just buy food. I'd get KFC snack boxes, Subways, bagels, cakes, Belgian buns, all this stuff, and I'd just eat as much as I could. I'd eat just till I couldn't anymore at night. I did this because I thought it could gain me muscle, it could get me in good shape. As I was 16, skinny and insecure, I just hated who I was. I wanted to change who I was. I wanted to be a cool kid in school. I wanted to be popular. And I didn't like being the skinny kid. So I committed to this bulk. I committed to going gym. I was just eating and eating food. But it was working. This dirty bulk and this eating as much food as I want was most definitely working. As I was gaining weight and I was gaining size, I saw the scales go up every time I checked on it. I'd step on it. Started about 60, 70 range, and it was going up and up. It got to 80, and it got to 85. I got to 90, and within a year, I got to 95, which is like a 20 kg jump, which is quite a lot. But the problem was that 20 kg jump was done all by junk food. So all I ate in that process was Belgian buns, pizzas, cakes, chips, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, just as much junk food as I fit in. I used to walk around my kitchen scavenging for junk food. I'd check every cupboard, trying to find something to eat. Crisps, all of it. And now I'm 95 kg. I remember one day, because I'm strong now, I repped out 100 kg in the gym. I was repping it. And I finished my gym session. I was pushing some heavy weight. At the end of the gym session, I like to take my top off and just look in the mirror and see how pumped I look, if I look in good shape. And this time I take my top off, I look in the mirror, and I hate how I'm looking. I've been going gym for a whole year, been consistent with it, but I hate how I'm looking. I look at myself, my cheeks are chubby, my belly's sticking out, and I still feel spotty and I just feel ugly, just horrible. I can't explain how much I hated how I was looking. And it was obvious what did this, what caused this mess, what put me in this position here. It was all the junk food I was eating. As I thought I could get away with it, I thought I could justify it, as I did my whole life. I always got away with eating the junk food as I had a fast metabolism. But now I was eating so much of it, I was eating 4,000 calories a day of it. It wasn't the same. I was now overweight, feeling chubby, and just feeling insecure, and I'm not liking my body at all. But that's where I realised the junk food was bad, and that's where I realised, like, you got to cut this out. I can't do this anymore. All this processed food actually ruining my body. As from that point where I was 95 kg, I started to research. I started to learn about diet, healthy foods, unhealthy foods, what all these are, processed foods, unprocessed foods, everything. I heard of someone called Eddie Abu. He's like this guy that calls every food shit. He calls every processed food bad, and you should eat real whole foods. I listened to people like that, and I started to look at what they're talking about. As they were saying, all these processed foods, these foods that are made in factories by a man, these foods are bad for you, as these foods have hundreds of ingredients in and they have loads of chemicals in. So I went to look and see if I could find it out for myself. I went downstairs in my kitchen, I looked at the tomato ketchup, I looked at the label and it said how many ingredients were there. I swear there was about 30, 40 of them, and I didn't know half their names. And I looked at something that I thought was healthy, like granola cereal. I looked at that, there's about 40 ingredients again. And this has like sunflower oils, rapeseed oils in. As I also learned, these vegetable oils, sunflower oils, rapeseed oils, oils like this, these also make you gain weight. These also are bad for you, bad for your body. As these oils were used in factories to like oil machines, and now we're consuming them. That's like drinking petrol. It's just like, you shouldn't be consuming it. Your body clearly won't like it. And I realised I was doing all this. I was having so much bad food. There's everything I looked at, no matter if it was a quiche, if it was like battered fish, whatever it wasn't healthy for me. It wasn't real foods. It wasn't whole foods that I was meant to eat. And I was like, okay, I've got to cut all these foods out. I've got to stop everything. And I couldn't. I tried to cut all these foods out. I tried to stop eating all these junk foods, but it felt impossible. Not even impossible. It felt like bigger than impossible. It felt like it was just impossible. As how? That's the only foods I've been eating all my life. Every day I'd eat chicken nuggets, pizzas, chips, everything. Now, what was I supposed to eat? I was so lost. I was like, how is that possible at all to physically do that? It seems so difficult. It seems so hard. Oh, yeah. But I kept like looking into it more and kept trying. And I found that I'm just gonna have to cook all my foods. I'm gonna have to have foods that aren't made for me. So like, I'd have to get chicken, I'd have to season it myself and then put it in the oven, fry it or bake it, whatever, and I'd have to cook it that way. I wouldn't be able to have like a McDonald's burger. Instead, I'd have to make the beef patty myself. I'd have to grab a mince, bind it together and make it. And this was obviously effort. So I'd have to meal prep chicken and rice. I'd have to cook them all on a Sunday and get them all ready for me. I'd have to put them in separate containers and work out what I was going to eat. This all felt so long. Like, even having to cook scrambled egg each day, it felt so hard and so long and so difficult. But I had such pain. I was in such bad shape. I felt awful. My body felt awful. My skin felt awful. So I did it. I took the sacrifice. I made the effort, and I actually started to make my own meals. It took me time. It took me effort to learn. But as I started to learn, I started to see like progress. As I was eating healthier and healthier now, I started to have more good meals. I started to slowly implement them into my diet. So what I did is, like, instead of having like a really unhealthy diet, I'd have eggs for breakfast and then I'd just have the rest of an unhealthy diet. Then with time I'd have eggs for breakfast, chicken and rice for lunch, and then I'd just have an unhealthy rest of the day. And then with time I started to add more healthy foods in. I started to pull more healthy foods into my diet, and that just made the unhealthy foods leave. As you can't eat both. You can't eat a full healthy diet and a full unhealthy diet. You're going to be too full up. So the more healthy foods I added to my diet, the less unhealthy foods I was consuming. And it was that process I was adding and subtracting. And it was going well. I was like in good shape. I was getting in better shape, really. As I lost the weight and my energy levels started to change, I started to generally work out twice a day, and I felt good about doing it. As I could work out in the morning, go for a run, and then later in the day I'd do a boxing session or I'd do a weight session. As well as this, I was actually like, just feeling great like throughout my day. I didn't have these massive crashes in energy where I'd be laying in bed just scrolling on my phone. instead I was trying to be productive. I was trying to do something every like second of the day. I was going for walks in nature. I was just doing like healthy habits, and I just felt good about it. And it just kept getting better and better the more I added clean, healthy foods into my diet. And there was a point where there wasn't many, like I wasn't eating unhealthy foods anymore on a day-to-day basis. So 7 days a week I'd eat healthy foods, but every now and again I would fall and I would fail on my diet. And on that day, I'd cheat. I'd have a cheat day. I'd eat pizzas, cereals, granolas, all that. But then I'd come back to the healthy diet. And I had this now even. For the last 2 weeks, I've been eating very healthy. And then yesterday was Christmas Day. I had an unhealthy diet. I ate a roast dinner, had chocolate, shortbreads, all different things that you have on Christmas. But now it's a new day. And I'm back on my healthy diet again. I'm going to eat clean again for a while. Then I'll have a cheat day again, maybe 2 weeks from now or whatever. And I'll eat unhealthy. I'll have a pizza, I'll have a kebab, something like that. And then I'll go back to being healthy again. And I did a process like this. This allowed me to still cure my cravings, to still have a bad food when I really craved it and I really wanted it. But I wasn't eating it every day on a day-to-day basis. As imagine you have two options. You can either eat one biscuit every day of a week, or you can eat just a pack one day. And it's like, what one will hurt your body more? And that people will argue, and I think it's an individualistic thing. Some people would prefer to have one biscuit every day, versus I'd prefer to have just a whole pack one day a week. That's because having one biscuit every day is so hard to do. As once I had that one biscuit, I'd want another and another and another, and I couldn't just stick to one biscuit. But if I just had a cheat day where I could just have as much as I wanted, then anything could happen. I'd just eat what I want, and then I'd come back to a clean diet as I don't even fancy anymore now, so I eat so many biscuits. And that's how I got into good shape. That's how I stopped with junk food, and it got me in good shape, and it changed my energy, it changed how I felt, it just changed everything about me, and it made me feel just brilliant, really. So when you change with junk food, when you stop with junk food, it really helps. It really just makes you feel alive and makes you feel like a whole new person. But this took me a long time to realise it. And once I realised it, it took me an even longer time to actually do it and to eat clean food. But just try adding clean foods into your diet. Try adding the whole foods, the meats, the vegetables, the fruit, the foods Eddie Abu talked about. Just add those into your diet slowly but surely. Add the eggs for the morning, the chicken and rice, the mince, whatever. But just add them. And as you add them, the bad foods will leave. And with time, you'll get in good shape, you'll feel better, you'll start working out more, you'll build muscle quicker, everything will go your way. As the food you eat change, what food you eat affect every part of your body. It affects how fast you build muscle, it affects how much you can memorize something, it affects how well you speak, it just affects everything. So eating good foods is going to affect everything in a net positive way, in a good way. But that was all for this video. So like and subscribe now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.